sa paro dharma jato bhakti radho bhaje ahoy kuki apratihata jayatma suprasidat jaya atma suprasidat or samprasidat. Samprasidati means sammak, fully satisfied, prasidati. Everyone is searching after peace and tranquility of the mind. Mind's nature, why not? Mind's nature is very flickering. Accepting something and rejecting something. That is mind. Sankalpa vikalpa, the exact word in Sanskrit. I decide to do something, but next moment I reject it. Therefore, mind is not in peace. And we are trying to be satisfied in so many ways. At last, in human form of life, we take to religious principles of life. In the animal society, there is no question of religiosity. But in the human form of life, especially civilized human society, every society has got some form of religious principle. It doesn't matter whether it is Hinduism, Mohammedanism, Sikhism, or Judaism, Christianism. There is some form of religious principle. Everything is attempted for satisfying the yoga principle also. Yoga indriya samyam. By controlling the mind, mind is also indriya, the principal sense. We have got senses. And mind is the center of all senses. Indriyani pararahu. This body means combination of senses. But above the senses, there is the mind. If the mind is disturbed, the senses cannot act. If the mind is in disorder, then the man is called mad, because he cannot use his senses properly. He cannot think properly, he cannot feel properly, neither he can act properly. So, Suta Goswami, who was speaking Srimad Bhagavatam to the sages at Naimisharam, those who are Indians, they are well acquainted with the Naimisharan land. It is in the Hardoi district near Lucknow. The station, railway station is named Nimsa, and the place is very nice for spiritual cultivation. So that place was specially fixed up for executing religious, ritualistic performances and some thousands of years ago, at least 5,000 years ago, there was a great meeting of the saintly persons in which Suta Goswami was presiding, and he is teaching to the great sages that if you want to satisfy your mind, if you want to become peaceful, then you should take to the transcendental system of religion. There are different kinds of religions, but the prime religion is described here, Jato Bhakti Radho Khaje. So far we are concerned, we are propagating Krishna consciousness. Sometimes we are put many questions about different types of religious system. We take the advantage of this verse that sabai punsa paro dharma jato bhakti radho khaje. We do not mind what kind of religion you are following. You may be a Christian, you may be a Jewish, or you may be Hindu or Muslim, or any other followers of religion, but the test is whether you are advancing in the matter of loving God. Jato bhakti radho khaje. Bhakti means bhajadhatu sevaya. When a man is engaged in service, that is called bhakti. That is man's nature. Not only man's nature, that is the nature, characteristic of all living entities. To serve. The other day I was seeing one picture, yes, I think Mr. Pandya's house, that a lioness is also serving the cubs. That service spirit, that is the characteristic of living entity. To render service to others, either out of love or out of sense of superiority, to render service. Any one of us who are sitting in this meeting, if we ask, what is your prime business? You must admit that your prime business is to serve. So, this service is the characteristic of living. Nobody can say that I am not serving. He must be serving. Everyone. And Lord Chaitanya says that the prime duty of living entity is to understand that he is eternal servant of God. Jiver Sarup Hoy Nitya Krishna Das. That is our real constitutional position. We are eternal servant of God. Therefore, we are engaged in different types of services. Somebody is engaged in the service of his personal self. Somebody is engaged in the service of the family. Somebody is engaged in the service of the society, community, nation, or international humanity. Just like in our country, Mahatma Gandhi was engaged in the service of his country. There are many great politicians, they have become great because they have rendered service to the nation or to the people. That is the nature. So here it is defined. That is also dharma. To render service to others, that is called dharma. Dharma means viridhati. You cannot escape it. That is called dharma. Dharma cannot be changed. Just like water is liquid. Liquidity is the characteristic or dharma of water. Sugar is sweet. Sweetness is the characteristic or dharma of sugar. Anything you take, you analyze, just like in medicine, there are herbs, different herbs, and in the British pharmacopoeia or any pharmaceutical book, the characteristics, the chemicals, the characteristics are described there. The taste is like this, the form is like this, the reaction is like this. So, these characteristics is to be understood as dharma. The English translation of dharma, religion, is described as a kind of faith. But in Sanskrit, dharma does not mean that. Dharma means the exact characteristic of that particular thing. That is dharma. It cannot be changed. Faith, today you are Hindu, tomorrow you can become Christian. Today you are Mohammedan, tomorrow you can become a Hindu. That faith can be changed, but characteristic cannot be changed. We have to understand in that. So here it is described, Savai Pumsa Paro Dharma. That is the perfect characteristic of human being. Perfect. Savai Pumsa Paro. Paro means transcendental, not material. Paro or boro. And the material activities are called aboro, apara. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, it is described apara, yam, apara, bhumi, rapa, analo, vayu. These material elements, they are my bhinna prakriti astadha. Bhinna means separated. 8 kinds of material energies, separated. Then again it is said, aparayam. Apara means inferior. These 8 kinds of material, gross and subtle elements are inferior energy of the Supreme Personality of God. Itastu viddhi me prakritim para. Besides this or beyond this, you try to understand another prakriti, another nature, which is para. Para means transcendent. Beyond this material concept. Here also it is said, Savai Pumsa Paro Dharma. Paro or para, the same thing. One is masculine, one is feminine. So here it is said, Dharma, Paro. Para means superior. Inferior Dharma and superior Dharma. Inferior Dharma means to serve some material purposes. Therefore, in this beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Dharma projita atra koitava. The Vyasadeva said that koitava dharma, Parishrama means pretending or false or cheating. And Siddhar Swami, the great commentator on the Srimad Bhagavatam, he says, Atra mokkha pajyantam nirastam, because people are very much interested in 4 kinds of religious principles. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Dharma, generally people go to church or temple for artha, for some material purpose. Oh God, give us our daily bread. Or the Hindu goes to a temple to beg something. They give me this. Generally, people are interested for some material benefit. Why? Dharma, artha, kama. Kama means sense gratification. If I get some material riches, then I can satisfy my senses according to my desire. In this way, there are different angles of vision of dharma. But Srimad Bhagavatam is dealing with transcendental dharma, the original characteristics of the living entity. Therefore, here Sutta Goswami says, Samai Punsa Paroda. That is transcendental religion. What is that? Jato, by executing which bhakti radhokhari, one can advance his natural love for God. Everyone has got natural love for God. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is described that Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti Sadha Prabhu Noy Savanadi Shuddha Chitte Karoe Udar. Nitya Siddha. It is everlasting. Nitya Siddha. Krishna Bhakti. Love for God is everlasting within everyone. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti. Sadha Prabhu. It is not that I practice and I get it. Just like by practice one becomes drunkard, by practice one becomes smoker, by practice so many things. But this dharma, this parodharma, the transcendental religion is not achieved by practice. It is already there. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti. As for example and evidence, you can see that these American boys and girls, there are thousands, they are taking to Krishna Bhakti. 4 years ago, they did not hear even the name of Krishna. They did not know what is Krishna. But now they have become pure devotee of Krishna. It is not by practice. The practice which they were taught from the beginning of their life in European and American life, that drinking, meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, these things are not natural, but unnaturally they were taught. But as soon as they have come to the natural position, Nitya Siddha, dormant, everlasting, they have given up their artificial eyes Param drishtya nivartate in the Bhagavad Gita. When a man becomes addicted something good, he gives up bad. Just like a child, a boy, he plays sometimes very mischievously. But when he is grown up or he is given to the practice of study, he no more acts mischievously. He reads and writes, he goes to school and becomes sober and gentle. This is called param drishtya nivartate. You cannot by force teach something unless it is natural. The Krishna Bhakti is natural to everyone. Everyone. How it is evoked, that is stated, Sravanadi Shuddha Chitte. If you patiently give oral reception to the news of Krishna or God, that is our motto of preaching. Our Krishna consciousness movement is based on these principles. To give oral reception of the message given by Krishna or the message about Krishna. The message given by Krishna is Bhagavad Gita. Everyone can take this message from Krishna. There is no hindrance. Similarly, this Srimad Bhagavatam is message about Krishna or Krishna's devotees. So if you simply give oral reception to these messages of Krishna or God, then your dormant Krishna consciousness becomes evoked, natural. Therefore, our process of Krishna consciousness movement, we are opening different centers all over the world just to give people the chance of hearing about Krishna. And if he hears about Krishna, Krishna Kirtanam, here means one should speak. I am speaking, you are hearing. So this is called Sravanam Kirtanam. Hearing means Sravanam. And speaking or describing or chanting means Kirtanam. Kirtayati iti Kirtanam. And Sankirtanam. Sankirtanam means Bahubhi militya kirtayati. When we assemble together, many men, women, meet together and glorify or chant or speak about Krishna. That is called Sankirtan. A Kirtanam, a Sankirtanam. The Sankirtanam is very nice in this age. Kalota Harikirtana. This is the injunction of the Shastra that Krite Jadhato Vishnu. Kritayan Jagato Makhai Dapare Parichajyayan Kalota Harikirtana. In the Satyajug, people would advance in spiritual consciousness by meditation. Meditation is not very easy. It was possible in the Satyajug. Just like Valmiki Muni meditated for 60,000 of years and he got perfect. Because people would live at that time for 100,000 of years. So that was possible in those days. In the present day, it is not possible. Our mind is so much disturbed and we are engaged in so many activities that it is impossible to meditate. One or two may be able, very expert in the affairs of meditating, but for the mass of people, it is not possible. So, Kriteja dhatu Vishnu. The meditation means Vishnu, not something impersonal or fictitious. The yogis, they meditate. They fix up their mind on Vishnu Murti. Paramatma. The Paramatma is Vishnu Murti. Ishara Sarvabhutana. Riddese Arjuna Tishtati. In everyone's heart, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is living. So, simply we have to meditate upon Him and then we can realize. So that meditation was very nice, easy, possible in the Sattva Yuga. Kriteja dhatu Vishnu Tritayam Jagato Makhai. But in the next millennium, the same thing, same achievement was possible by performing great sacrifices. That is also not possible because so many tons of ghee wanted, so many tons of grains wanted to execute the Vedic sacrifices. So nobody has got money, neither ghee is available, so many, neither Jagik Brahman is there. The priest who would execute the yajna, the first test was how the mantras are being chanted, whether perfectly or not. That test was that an animal should be put into the fire, and if the mantra is chanted perfectly, then the same animal would come out with new life. Not that sometimes people allege that in the yajna animal sacrifice is there. Yes, it is there, but not for the purpose of eating. It was the test, just like biological test and examination are done first by the students on animals. Similarly, the test of the yajna was there. They would ignite the fire by mantras. And next test is to put an animal in the fire and the animal comes out with a new body. The body is changed. This was the test. So that is not possible. There is no Jagik Brahman. Neither you can get paraphernalia for executing properly in details of the sacrifice. That is not possible. Kriteja dhatu Vishnu Tritayam Jagato Makhai Dapare Paritajayam. And the temple worship was possible to be done perfectly in the Dapara Yuga. Nowadays, even the old temples are neglected. Nobody is taking care properly. The Christian churches, temples are churches. In England, in America also, they are now being sold because people are not taking care. In Los Angeles, we have factually purchased one big church and converted into temple. Similarly, we are trying to purchase one big church in England also, London. So, people are gradually becoming atheists, not interested in going to the church or temple, there are difficulties. So that is also not recommended in this age. Of course, in our temple there is deity worship. We take side by side two processes, the Bhagavad process and Pancharatriki process. This deity worship, the deity is standing before you, you worship deities, and the Pancharatriki system, just to purify. This deity worship helps one to become purified. The whole process of religion is to purify ourselves, because on account of contamination of the material energies, we have forgotten our real position, aham brahmasmi. I am spirit soul, that I have forgotten. So, religious process means to purify yourself. So here it is recommended that sabai punsha parodha, that is first class religious process. What is that? Jato bhakti radho khaje, that religious process which advances you to understand your position. Your position is constitutionally everlasting servant of God. Unfortunately, we have forgotten God. We have forgotten our relationship with God. But the service attitude is there. Because my characteristic to render service. Therefore, instead of giving service to God or Krishna, I am giving service to so many things. Actually, I am giving service to my senses. I do not give anyone service in the material world. In the material world, nobody gives service to anyone. Everyone gives service to his senses. Indira Trip. A man supposed to be giving service to his country. Actually, he does not give service to the country. He gives service to his senses. Of course, if we analyze, people may not like it, but that is the fact. Just like husband and wife. Husband gives service to the wife. Wife gives service to the husband. But the motive is not service, but sense gratification. Therefore, in Western countries we see so many divorce cases. In India also this is also introduced. That as soon as there is discrepancy in the matter of sense gratification, the husband and wife separate. In the Bhagavad, it is stated, especially in this Kali Yuga, dampate ratime vahi. Dampate means the relationship between husband and wife will depend on sex power. Dampate ratime vahi. These are all stated there. So, the spirit is there, but it is perverse. The real spirit, because I am covered by this material, gross and subtle elements, therefore my service spirit is being misused. It's misused. Just like The service spirit is there. If somebody hasn't got a family to serve, sometimes a man keeps a dog, a woman keeps a cat, because the service spirit is there. Therefore, Sutta Goswami says, that characteristic of service spirit can be fulfilled perfectly when it comes to the platform of serving the Supreme Lord. Jato bhakti adhokhaja. Adhokhaja, another name of God. God means beyond the perception of our material senses. Adhokhaja. Adhakrita akhaja. Akhaja means direct perception. Just like we see directly, we touch directly, we smell directly. But God is not to be perceived by direct perception. I cannot see God directly, therefore I have got the form of God. But the form of God is not different from the original God. This Krishna playing on flute is stated in the Shastra, in the Brahma Samhita. Venum kannantam aravind dalayataaksham barahab samasitam buddha sundarangam kandarpa koti kamaniya visesha shobham govindam adipulsam tamaham bhajami. It is not that artist has cut out this form out of his imagination. It is Krishna, when he was present personally on this planet, people are seeing the form is there. And besides that, in the beginning of the creation, Brahma, when he realized by tapasya the personality of Godhead, he wrote Brahma Samhita. That Brahma Samhita is accepted by Lord Chaitanya. Therefore, we accept the authority of Brahma Samhita. That is our way of understanding. Evam parampara prapta. By parampara system, we try to understand the transcendental subject matter. So, the process, the perfection of our religious system, which can satisfy our mind, is the bhakti adhokha, transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is beyond the perception of our material senses. And that kind of service is apratihata. It cannot be checked by any material condition. Apratihata. If you engage yourself in the service of the Lord, you will never be stopped by any condition of material life. It is not that because one is very busy, therefore he cannot serve God, or one is very rich or poor or black or white. Never. Apratihata. Anyone who takes to the process of pure devotional service, he will never be checked. Apratihata and ahituki. God should be served, not with a purpose or with a motive. Ahituki. Demigods are served, not served, they are worshipped with a motive. But Krishna is served without any motive. That is perfection. Ahituki apratihata. Without any motive, ahituki and apratihata. It cannot be checked. Even the poorest man or the richest man, both of them can serve Krishna. Even the Brahmin or the lowest born Chanda, both of them can serve Krishna. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Man hi partha vapastritya jepishu papa jona Sriya Sudra Tatha Vaishya Stevi Janti Parangati. One who has taken properly my center, vapastritya, B means specifically, not whimsically. Specifically means according to the rules and regulations of Shastra. Such person, man hi partha vyapasritya, jepishu papa jona, even if he is born in papa joni, it doesn't matter. Striya Sudra Tatha Vaishya Stevi Janti Parangati. They also attain the highest perfection of life. In another place, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Kirata Hunan Tulinda Pukkusa Abhiva Sumbha Jabanatha Sava Jennecha Papa Jad Upasraya Sraya Suddhanti Prabhavishnami. Apart from this, Sriya Shuddha Tatha Vaishya, there are still lower. They are called Kirata Huna Andhra Pulinda Pukkusa. They also, if they take shelter of a pure devotee, Jadupasraya Sraya, Suddhanti, they become purified. So there is no question of checking anyone in the matter of developing Krishna consciousness or devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond our material perception. That is possible. That is described here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that if you want real peace, if individually everyone is peaceful, naturally, collectively, everything is peaceful. Where people are disturbed because you may be satisfied in your own way, but others may not be satisfied. Then there is disturbance. Just like in this country, the Indians may be satisfied by their own way, but the Africans may not be satisfied. And if one is dissatisfied and other is satisfied, there will be disturbance. So here it is particularly mentioned that if you come to the Krishna consciousness platform, Jato Bhakti Radho Khade, if you engage yourself in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then your Atma or mind or soul will be fully satisfied. Jnatma samprasidati. In the Bhagavad Gita, so it is said that Bhoktaram Jamkadavasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sridam Sarvabhutana Gyata Mam. Krishna says Mam unto me. Shanti Nicheti. So, you go either way. All the Shastras, if you actually care for the Shastras, you find this indication everywhere. Harireva Sarvatra dear. The glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is everywhere. Therefore Shastra says that somehow or other, if you come to Krishna consciousness, Aradhita Jadi Hari, if you come to the point of rendering service to Hari, the Supreme Personality of God, tapasa tataskin. There is no more necessity of austerity, penances, meditation. It is finished. Because you have come to the point. And naradita jadi haris tapasa tataskin. And after all meditation, austerity, religious, ritualistic ceremonies, everything, if you do not come to the point of Hari, then sapasata tatkin, then what is the value of your austerity? Because you are missing the real point. The same thing is described in the next verse. Dharma sanusthita pungsa vishakshena kathasuja nutpadaidrating jadi samaye vahi kevalam. You execute your prescribed duties as dharma very nicely. You may be Christian, you may be Hindu, whatever. You are thinking that you are doing very nicely the execution of your particular type of religious system. But the taste is that dharma sanustita vishakshina katha. Vishaksha, God's another name is Vishaksha. So Vishakshena kathasu jat rating na utpadayat. If you do not become attached to the topics of the Supreme Personality of God, people are not. Just like here in this hall, if there would have been some political meeting, there would have been throngs of it. Yes. But because it is on Krishna or God, nobody is interested. Nobody is interested. So, Bhagavad says that you may be very faithful in discharging your duties. You may be a businessman, or you may be a professional man, or whatever you may be. You are thinking that I am doing my duties very nice. But the taste is that after doing your duties very nicely, if we do not develop Krishna consciousness, that is the prime aim of life, or God consciousness, the Bhagavad says it is simply waste of time and this. Samayeva hi keval, because this life is made for understanding Krishna or God. Athata Brahma Jigyasa, that is the Vedanta Sutra. This life, human life, is especially meant for inquiring about the Supreme Absolute Truth. If that inquiry is not evoked in human life, it is simply a waste of time. That means we are spoiling the human form of life. In many places. Parabhavastavad abodha jata javanna jignasatavaka tattam. A person working very nicely and he is thinking victorious in every field of activity. But Bhagavad says that you are being defeated, you are not victorious. Parabhava, savat, abodha jata. You are born ignorant, without God consciousness, without understanding your relationship with God. And if you continue like that, you are thinking that you are victorious in your business, your profession, in your occupation, but they are all defeats. There is a practical example. We have got a friend in London, perhaps you know his name, George Harrison. His house is a palatial building. He's a very rich man. But the former owner of the house is living there as ghost. This is practical. He was a very rich man, the owner of the house, former owner of the house, and he invented so many things. So got enough money, and he was too much attached to the palace. The whole money he acquired, he constructed that house. Now after death, due to his too much attachment to that house, he is living there as a ghost. This is possible. Not only as ghost, but sometimes as rat, as cat, as a snake. This is the law of nature. If you have got too much attachment for this material world, then you will have to come back here. And according to your karma, you have to accept a body. There are 8,400,000 of forms of body. Karmana daiva netre. By your work and by superior administration, you will have to accept a particular type of body. Therefore, we should take advantage of this human form of life, all the material facilities that we have got. We should utilize everything. How to develop our Krishna consciousness. That is parodharma. That is described as Sutta Goswami. Savai pumsa parodharma. Don't spoil your life simply under some fictitious idea. Be actually acquainted, well-versed with the direction given in the Shastra and comply with the principles, then life will be successful. That is our propaganda. We are trying to preach this kind of Krishna consciousness just to awake the general people to his consciousness that will save him from becoming a ghost or dog or cat or something. Next time. We are preparing the next time. If you don't believe in the Shastra, that is a different thing. But this is the law. The whole natural processes, nature is trying to take you to Krishna consciousness. But if you avoid the nature's law, then you are in the cycle of birth and death. 8,400,000 of different types of forms. And suppose if we get the form of a tree by our karma, then the next life, how much it is tedious to stand up in one place for thousands of years. Therefore, churnam jateta anumistu pateta javat. The injunction is that you try to evoke your Krishna consciousness before the next death comes. The death is sure. Whatever you are manufacturing, when death will come, it will take away everything. Krishna says, Mrityu sarva harashta aham. Mrityu sarva harashta. Mrityu means he takes away everything. Your house, your family, your country, your dress, your apartment, everything finished. Then you have to accept another body. And you have to cultivate, you have to construct another house, another society, another. This is going. Bhutta bhutya paliyate. Coming once for some years, working very hard, creating a very favorable situation and unfavorable situation, and having next one. This is going on. Therefore Lord Chaitanya said, Ei rupe brahmanda bhamite kono bhagavane ji Guru Krishna kripaye paye bhakti lata bhi. The living entities, they are rotating, wandering in so many ways all over the universe. Brahmanda bhami. Sometimes as Brahma, sometimes as an ant, sometimes as demigod, sometimes as tree. It is going on. Eirupe brahmanda bhamite. So, a living entity who is fortunate, while wandering in this way, he gets the touch of Guru and Krishna, and then his life is successful, because Guru Krishna Kripa Pai Bhakti Lata Beej. We take it, we get it. The beej, just like you get a very valuable seed of a lotus flower. But if you don't utilize it, the beej will remain. But if you utilize it, the beej or the seed will grow, and one day you will have a very nice lotus flower. So, this Krishna consciousness movement is trying to give people the beej, the seed of Krishna consciousness. And if he cultivates, his life becomes successful. He goes back to home, back to God. This is a great science. Therefore, as I told you yesterday also, today also, try to understand. It is very scientific, authorized, and not a concocted idea. It is based on the Shastra. So, take advantage of this movement, and it is very easy to execute. As I told you, that if you go to the meditation process, it is very difficult. That is not possible. But in these days, the process has been made very easy. Kalautad Hari Kirtana. Kalautad Hari Kirtana. Adupudbhasya Guru Krishna Kripa. Just try to approach the bona fide Guru or the representative of Krishna, and under his direction you take the seed and sow it in your heart and water it. And what is that watering process? Savan Kirtan Jale Karaya. This is watering process. If you continue hearing, chanting, that is the watering process of the seed, and that will grow. This is the process. Very easy. Everyone can chant. Everyone can hear. Why you lose this opportunity? Please take it. That is our request, and be successful in your life.